Hey guys, it's Smashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. And if it's your first time, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I should also say happy October. It's finally October 1st. We're getting into one of my absolute favorite months. I think I've mentioned this before, but make sure your notifications are turned on because I have some really good videos coming down the pipeline for you guys, including today. Today we'll be kicking off spooky season with 4 easy and simple DIY Halloween decorations that you can make at home with the kids. So we're gonna be making 3D bats that are coming off of your wall, ghost luminaries, a skeleton garland, and a haunted branch centerpiece. First up are our 3D bats. Now, super easy. All that you really need to create this is some black cardstock, a pair of scissors, and then some tape. For the actual outline of the bats, I did find one on Pinterest that I really liked, so I'll link it for you guys in the description below to just make your life super easy. But we have 2 different sizes that we're going to be doing. This is the first, and it's a large bat. It may be a little bit difficult to see on camera, but instead of tracing out the bat, I figured it might be easier and less time consuming to just print it directly on the black cardstock. And this is the smaller bats that we have going on. And all we're gonna do is cut them. That's it. I also wanted to mention, you totally don't have to use the black cardstock. I still would use cardstock, but you could do this in any color. I actually think it would be quite fun for the kids to have it be an assorted color, maybe a purple and an orange or something like that. But to do the fold, super easy. All that you wanna do is identify like the neck piece of the bat here. We're gonna do 1 fold straight down here and then 1 fold straight down here. And it should end up looking something like this, which is so simple, but it's gonna look really cool. Now, I'm gonna end up putting these on the wall as a cluster, and I would recommend you guys do the same. I was just thinking of all the different areas you could put it. I think the best thing about this project is gonna be its location and its arrangement. I've seen some beautiful arrangements like over a fireplace. You could do it kind of over a door frame. I know there's a lot of kids who are still doing homeschooling, so if maybe you wanted to give their desk area a little bit of a refresh, you could add some little bats on the wall for them. But all you do once you fold them is grab your tape. I grab a strip and I'm just gonna fold it into a little loop so it becomes double-sided. We're gonna stick this on the main part on the back of the bat, and literally, there's your 3D bat. I'm gonna do the same for all of these, and I'll show you guys at the end of the video the final reveal of where I'm gonna put them. For project number 2, we're gonna get into that skeleton garland that I mentioned earlier. And these are actually a skeleton garland I picked up from the dollar store. So we're gonna be using these. And in between each skeleton, I thought it would be really cute to make some black yarn tassels. You guys saw me do the tassels with the book trick in my last kids room decor video. So we're gonna do the same exact thing and use the book as our measure. And what we're gonna do is, you wanna make sure the tail end of your yarn is towards the opening of the book. And we're gonna wrap all the way around. I think I'm gonna do about maybe like 30 times. I know that sounds like a lot, but it goes by quickly. Once you've reached the end of 30 loops around, you're gonna cut your tail again at the edge of the book, the opening. And we're gonna cut another little piece. We're gonna tie this at the spine of the book, slide this under here. And then next, we're gonna grab our scissors and then just cut the bottoms of the yarn. We're almost there. So that knot that we made at the top, I'm actually gonna hide underneath the tassel so we don't have to cut the little tails later. And I'm gonna grab 1 more piece of yarn and pinching at the top right here, we're gonna tie that piece around and give us the little tassel look. So here is how we're looking. And then from here, I just tied a pretty tight knot right over here to make the tassel mark up here and kind of keep this part separated. This I will cut off. Okay. 1 tassel down. I don't know how many to go, but I know that I want my garland about 8.5 feet. I'm actually gonna be hanging it underneath the photo ledge that you guys saw me make a few videos ago. So I want it to kind of be about that same length. So I'm just gonna keep going, and then I'll probably measure out about how many we need. I ended up making about 10 tassels, and what we're gonna do for a pattern on our garland is just gonna be skeleton, tassel, all the way through. So again, I picked up 3 packs of these from the dollar store. All we're gonna do is remove them from the package. Now, these actually come on a garland all of their own, but I'm actually just going to cut each of them off. So we're just gonna start there. That way the skeleton is kind of freestanding on its own. So here's my pre-cut twine. This is what I'm gonna be using for my garland as well. And I'm gonna lay this flat out on my table, and we're gonna start attaching our pieces. I wanna give myself a little bit of slack so that I can actually hang this. I'm gonna start from about here. And I'm gonna start with the skeleton. The packs of skeletons come 4 to a pack, and I have 3 of them, so we'll be putting on 12. And I think I'm just gonna tie a knot. I'm really just trying to keep this simple and easy. When you tie the knot, make sure you get the main piece of twine in the knot itself so the skeleton kind of stays in place, because once this drapes, I imagine everything could kind of pile up in the center. That's not what we want. He's on there pretty securely. I don't think that's going anywhere. So move on to our tassel. Now the reason we made these the way that we did is we're gonna kind of loop this around. So I put the loop part underneath the twine, and I'm gonna stick the full tassel through. And we're gonna pull that through. So it should look kind of like this. You guys can see that. Very similar to how we do on our macrame videos or on our wall hanging videos. So there's one. And again, I'm just gonna keep going until I have every single piece on there. That's about the spacing I wanna keep. So when you guys do this, you can try and keep it consistent. The kids can totally help you tie the skeletons on here. I think it's gonna be a really fun piece to put up. Okay, you guys, here is how our tassel is looking. I don't know, I think this is the cutest thing ever. I mean, not cute, spooky, and it's scary for Halloween. But absolutely love. Moving right along, we're gonna get into our ghost luminaries. So what you need for this are your mason jars. I was able to pick these up at the dollar store as well. These bright, like fairy lights, I think is what you call them. I got them off of Amazon. There are 6 in here, and it was a pretty good deal, much cheaper than in the store, so I'll link that in the description for you guys below. I have some white-ish paint. This one is vanilla, technically. A paintbrush, and then we have our bowl. So all we're gonna do, super simple, is pour a little bit of paint in this bowl and pick some up on your brush. And we're gonna like lightly brush the mason jar. The goal is not to get it super perfect or one single color. We kind of want to leave it a little loose and a little streaky so we can actually see the lights come through. Yeah, and that's about as covered as I want it to be. I was just thinking, I don't know if kids are full-time back in school yet, but this might even be good too for teachers to do in the classroom. Thinking of me as a kid, I loved art class and everything about it, so I would love something like this. Or if parents kind of wanted to do their own little art class at home, I think this is a really cute idea as well. I'll show you guys this one. Seriously, we're not striving for protection. I mean, we're not striving for perfection here. So we want to give these just a minute to dry down, and I will show you guys how we use our Sharpie to just draw on some little faces. And I want to get into these little fairy lights that I purchased. I've used similar ones for Christmas, but I mean, this pack is super small. I don't know how they fit 6 of them in here, but we'll see. Cute. Comes with a little screwdriver. Oh, they're tiny. This is perfect. So check them out, guys. They kind of come individually packaged. And the color that I purchased for these, keeping in theme with our ghost, was a bright white. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'll link the Amazon site for these as well so you guys can pick them up. And not unravel a lot. I just want to kind of put the shape tall enough to match the size of the mason jar. So we kind of want them to match. So the light kind of shines all the way through. Oh, that's perfect. Check it out. I'm gonna stick them in there from now, and we'll turn them on at the end so I can show you. Okay, our mason jars are completely dried down, and to make the faces, I'm just gonna be using this chunky black Sharpie. I will leave it to parents' discretion if you choose to let your kids do the faces or if you do them yourselves. I did practice quite a few, and I think I'm gonna go with these two. So that's gonna be my reference. I'm just gonna set that aside. And as far as where we're gonna put it, I chose to do it on like the little fruit side of the mason jar. I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be too glary. But instead of the part where it says ball, do it on the part of the fruit. And we're just gonna draw our little face on there. Here is how ghost number 1 is looking. Okay, faces are all complete. The last and final step, because we're not done yet, is I left the tail end piece. This is the battery pack for the luminary lights or the twinkle lights, whatever you want to call them. I'm actually going to tape this to the lid. Shout out to my husband because this was not my original idea, but it will prevent it from kind of sinking to the bottom so you can turn your luminaries on and off and make it really easy. So we're just going to grab a little piece of tape. Make sure that this is flush to the lid. Kind of like that. And I'm just gonna taper it. There you go. And that way you have access to like the little on-off switch. There's one, there's two, and here we are. They're so cute. Oh my goodness. Raise your hand if you cannot close a mason jar. There it is. Ah. Oh, here are our little luminaries. Now, 4th project, and we are almost done. Last but not least is our haunted branch centerpiece. I didn't really have a good name for this one, but I did want to show you guys the inspo. I got this creepy looking tree from the dollar section at Target, which I basically live in. And it has matte black, but then also a bunch of glitter all over it. So I went to my tree in my backyard and I got some branches and I went ahead and just spray painted them black. And then I found this clear base glitter spray paint as well, which is gonna stay in my arsenal forever. And I spray painted them all glitter. So essentially what I'm gonna be doing is I have my vase for the centerpiece here. This is also from Target from the Magnolia Hearth and Hand collection. So I'm just gonna arrange these in here carefully because I don't want any of the branches to break. They're a little old and brittle. Most of them are from the ground. Just kidding. I'm gonna add these skulls at the bottom of the vase first. I got these from the dollar store and I wasn't entirely sure what I was gonna do with them, but I think I'm gonna like this. And now we will add our branches. And I think that's about it. Now, you totally could stop here and I think this would be a beautiful centerpiece. I think I'm gonna go to the dollar store and get a few more skulls to throw at the bottom. It's looking a little too empty for me. But I'm gonna take things a step further. You guys saw in my exterior home decor video, I made these foam glitter bats, and this is actually left over from that video. I decided to go ahead and take from that same stencil the 2 smallest size bats, and using a Sharpie, the same way I did in that video, I just outlined them on the back of this foam paper. I'm gonna cut them out because we're gonna be hot gluing them to each of the branches to kind of match that theme that we have going. A lot of bats this year, but I'm into it. I don't know what to say. I have my handy dandy glue gun. This is what we're gonna be using to attach our bats to the branches. And all I wanna do is a little bit different than the wreath. I think I just wanna do like one tiny dab in the middle of the body of the bat, and that's what I'm gonna stick to the branch, just because there's a chance that some of the glue could spill over and I don't want it to look sloppy. And that's it. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Go ahead and put in the comment section below which project of the ones that we made today was your favorite. And as always, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.